In the vast expanse of the cosmos, cloaked by the impenetrable void of the interstellar medium, the vanguard of the Drac Dominion surged forward. At the helm of the monstrous flagship, a leviathan adorned with the scars of countless campaigns, was General Krug. A Drac of intimidating stature, his form was as ancient as the stars that bore witness to his military prowess. He was an emblem of dominance and ruthlessness, the herald of civilization's end. As Krug peered at the approaching pale blue dot, his mind wandered back to an event that unfolded 2 decades ago. It was a spectacle that had been etched in his memory, the fall of Proxima Centauri b. Back then, the planet had been teeming with life, a civilization on the brink of galactic awareness, their signals resonating through the silent cosmos. The same signals which marked them for extinction. The Drac Dominion watched from the shadows, their vast ships lingering on the outskirts of the Proxima Centauri system. Krug commanded the assault, an apocalyptic onslaught that snuffed out an entire world. The Drac Armada, colossal and insurmountable, had swept over the planet like a dread tide. Every resistance, every desperate plea for mercy, met with cold, unyielding fury. He remembered vividly the eerie spectacle that had unfolded before the eyes of Earth. For it was not just a show of might but a terrifying lesson transmitted live via their primitive telescopes. A graphic display of the fate that awaited civilizations that dared to extend their reach towards the stars without the strength to stake their claim. Drac's ethos of survival was ingrained in their society, their very DNA. They were the children of a harsh, unforgiving world. Their ascension to the apex of the galactic food chain was the fruit of countless generations of struggle and bloodshed. It was a philosophy of might, distilled in the single, resonating mantra, the strong thrive, the weak perish. And so, they embarked on their path of conquest. The discovery of the hyperlane network centuries ago fueled their expansionist ambitions. Like a ravenous beast, they devoured the stars, their dominion ever-growing, ever-consuming. Civilizations were assimilated, the weak culled, their cultures absorbed, their technology scavenged. The Drac were like the black holes at the center of each galaxy, pulling all matter towards them, an insatiable hunger that knew no bounds. To them, radio signals were the call of the fledglings. They were the first cries of a race dabbling in the mysteries of the cosmos, bearing their location, their existence. A protocol was established. Upon detection of these signals, the Drac would arrive within 50 Earth years, eradicating any potential threat. They'd learned the hard way that left unchecked, fledgling races could become thorns in their sides, their defiance growing in magnitude with their advancement. Earth was no different, yet it was. It wasn't just the sentient life that had caught the Dominion's attention, but the strategic location of the solar system. It was a vantage point, a potential outpost for further galactic conquest. Furthermore, Earth was a treasure trove of natural resources, teeming with life and ecological diversity. It was a ripe fruit, ready for the taking. Krug considered the humans as petulant children playing in the galactic sandbox, ignorant of the superior forces governing the cosmos. Their efforts to fight back were no more than an annoyance, a bee sting against the thick, impenetrable hide of a behemoth. Yet, he couldn't help but grudgingly admire their tenacity. In the grand theater of the universe, they were but a blink. And yet, they dared to raise their weapons against the Dominion, a show of spirit that was as futile as it was courageous. They were a minor itch that had been left to fester for too long. And now, they were at the cusp of becoming a festering wound. Yet, as the vanguard fleet neared Earth, Krug's expression held no worry. Only resolve. The human resistance was an overdue task, an irritating distraction. It was a stain to be wiped clean, a task that had been delayed but was now at the forefront. For the Drac Dominion, it was just another step towards asserting their indomitable place in the galactic hierarchy. The invasion began in earnest. The vanguard fleet descended upon Earth, a dark cloud blotting out the stars. Krug felt a perverse sense of anticipation. The order was given, and Drac's weapons of war, powerful beyond human comprehension, were unleashed in a rain of devastation. The silence from Earth was deafening. Krug mused, their attempts at communication were as pitiful as they were pointless. The humans filled the void with their plaintive calls, signal after signal, each more desperate than the last. Krug commanded the fleet to maintain silence, a mute refusal to their entreaties echoing across the void of space. After all, a predator does not converse with its prey. And then the time came to assert their dominance. Instruments across the fleet detected a worrying surge of energy from the Earth-Moon system. It was a buildup of power unlike anything they'd encountered from this primitive species, a sign that the humans were preparing to counterattack. Krug sneered at the audacity of it. The world beneath them held its breath as they realized their worst fears. The humans had found the resolve to challenge the Drac advance guard. Krug admired the human spirit even as he knew it to be futile. They charged their weapons, the hum of their energy systems a dissonant symphony across the electromagnetic spectrum. Krug observed as the human fleet stirred within the lunar craters, a nest of ants preparing to defend their hill. Over the years, their lunar base had transformed into a fortress, housing a fleet of spacecraft. These vessels were the embodiments of humanity's perseverance. Krug received word of the human strategy: strike first, strike hard. A counteroffensive was underway. Krug smiled at their resistance. This was the thrill of the hunt, the moment before the kill. The tension was palpable, the anticipation intoxicating. As the countdown to their counteroffensive began, Krug relished the energy of impending action. Their fleet, a collection of hope and dreams, hurtled out from the dark side of the moon in a coordinated surprise attack. Krug had to give them credit. Their timing was impeccable. The resulting battle was intense, marked by a barrage of energy weapons and evasive maneuvers. The humans fought back fiercely, their primitive weapons illuminating the space between Earth and the moon in a desperate display of power. Back on Earth, Krug knew the humans were watching in fear, hope, and awe as their fleet engaged the enemy. The cost of their preemptive strike was high, their losses significant. But their desperate gambles seemed to have paid off. A handful of Drac vessels were neutralized, the remaining turned into drifting ruins. Krug let them relish their victory. Let them think they'd won the first round. Let them think they'd hurt the Drac Dominion. Krug had experienced enough battles to know that a war was more than a single encounter, and this was only the beginning. He could see the resolve strengthening in the humans, could see them realizing that they could stand up to their alien invaders, could see them daring to hope. And he knew this would make their eventual defeat all the more crushing. The bee had stung the Drac, and it was far from lethal, but it was an annoyance that would be addressed soon. Krug could already see the hive buzzing in fear and confusion, their victory bittersweet as they realized the war had just begun. But Krug was patient. He would wait. The Dominion had seen many such resistances, and they all ended the same way. The Drac would prevail, as they always had, for they were the children of the cosmos, and the stars were their dominion. Their law was simple: the strong survive, and the weak perish. The humans had shown their strength, but it would not be enough. For now, the bee continued to sting, but soon it would be crushed under the might of the Drac. The inevitable was merely delayed, never denied.